In a moment that feels unstable, you have turned the anchoring force of motherhood, family, and human intimacy. Her luminous figurative figures are delving into the way in which nurturing is shaping our lives. As we all know, not through grand gestures, but in little acts of love and strength. So that exhibition is very much a tribute to the caregivers, the mothers, the loved one, whose emotional labor is often unseen, but yet is deeply felt. I'm sure you noticed that Ella Bril does not paint literally. She paints with feelings. There's a lot of raw colors, and you will see there's a dreamlike sense of abstraction, which ultimately makes the figures hover between memory and reality. So that exhibition is a tribute to the people who show up. And I think in time of lapse, we can all agree that is care and connection that grounds us most. And that's a beautiful tribute for that matter. A huge thank you to TM Lighting for the last decades that goes on to support artists and the most amazing shows like this one. It's now been several years that we've had the joy to work with them, and it's so important to have partners like this who support the contemporary art scene. And I'm passing on to Arjun, the digital editor of Apollo magazine, for a conversation that I'm sure will be fascinating, no pressure. And congrats again, Hela, on this brilliant exhibition.
Thank you so much, Marie.
Thank you very much for that introduction. So tonight, we're in conversation with Ella Bril, who has, over the years, been exploring the possibilities of figurative painting in lots of brightly coloured works that feature enigmatic figures, an assortment of enigmatic characters. And not too long ago, Ella became a mother, and the exhibition around us is called Motherhood, Luminous Origins. The paintings you see explore the experience of motherhood from a number of angles. And tonight we're going to find out a little bit more about the artistry behind the work. So without further ado, Ella, can I start off by asking, what's the first memory that you have of really being moved by a piece of art?
Well, thank you so much, Arjun. I'm really excited to be here. And first of all, the exhibition looks amazing. And in terms of first memories, I think I have multiple actually, because when it comes to art, I think you get a lot of first times actually. So, the first time actually when I saw a Van Gogh painting, because, obviously I'm Dutch, so I have to talk about him. Yeah, it was really mesmerizing for me because the colors he used, even considering the time that he made, and the story around it just really amazed me so much, actually. So I remember the oil paint the first time I saw it, and even almost smelled it. Like I was just totally in love with art making, and the figures that he painted were so vibrant and just so full of energy that I was really blown away, actually. So, that's one. And when we go back further, when I was a child, my parents also had art in the house. So we had paintings hanging around. And there's a Dutch painter, which is called Herman Broos. And he painted figurative works with only primary colors. So red, yellow, and blue. And I was in love with him, and like he was a rock star, and I really wanted to be him, but then like the female version, obviously. And that's where it all started with me like trying to be him, and painting, drawing, and everything. So that was a big inspiration for me. And another one is probably the first time I saw Picasso's work, the Guernica, which is a huge work. And I just I was stunned. And the
and you saw this in person in Spain?
Yeah, I did in Spain, yeah. And it was amazing. And just the story around, and the symbolic meaning of it all, it was just insane to me. So those are three different experiences.
That's really interesting. And certainly the bright colors that you talk about, that's very much evident in all of these pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
I was wondering if you'd had any formal training in art, or whether you're self-taught?
Yes, I'm self-taught. So
how did you go about teaching yourself? Was it mostly just through going to galleries and exhibitions and looking at what other artists were doing and just channeling what you were feeling, having learned from like observing, or was
Yeah,
there?
that's actually, so looking around a lot, but also learning by doing actually. So there's like this big art store in Amsterdam where I live, and it's a store where the old masters also came, and it has this vibe and so many materials, and just when you come in, you just feel like, yeah, there's so much possible. And I remember just going there a couple of times and just walking around and just looking at the materials and just, buying and trying actually. So I started with these oil pastels, like, and oil sticks. And I grabbed some A4 paper and I just went and draw like everyday situations and like people around me. And it was like sort of a visual diary, I guess. And that's how I started. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You did study fashion business for a while, and I was wondering if that influenced your art in any way, because of course increasingly fashion and art, those worlds are colliding. And I was wondering if when you were studying that formally, whether that's left a mark on you in any way that has gone on to influence your practice.
Yeah, definitely. I think. I mean, I think fashion is also like a form of art, and it's a way to express yourself. So in that sense, it really did influence me, because I obviously didn't go to art school, but the second option was fashion for me, because you can just go anywhere with it, and it's just your own imagination on yourself. So basically, that's just art for me. But on the other hand, it was really focused on management. So it was a lot about marketing and running a business and everything. But in the end, I'm actually grateful for doing that as well, because the art world nowadays is also really focused on, business side of things actually, because you can be like the next big name, but you have to get it out there. So yeah, I'm really grateful for an education that also taught me to be a business actually. Yeah.
No, that definitely sounds pretty essential for navigating today's art world.
So,
and as for fashion, definitely lots of pretty fab outfits in your painting,
right? Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about your studio, where it is, and what it's like? What's your studio routine? Do you have a kind of fixed routine?
I wouldn't say fixed, but I have a studio in like the city center actually of Amsterdam right now, and it's an old school building, and it's very, very nice. It has a lot of windows, a lot of light, which is very nice, and I go there by bike, obviously. Because that's what we do in Amsterdam. So yeah, it's a short ride, but it's pretty chaotic, and I try to like hit no tourists and everything. So yeah, no, it's really chaotic, and
you try to, but you don't always succeed. Sometimes you hit the occasional tourist.
I mean, have you ever been there? I mean, it's crazy. But no, when I arrive, I just, it sounds maybe a bit dramatic, but I enter like my holy space, so to speak. So it just, I calm down, and I just sit down, and I just make myself a coffee, and I just, let the outside world be there. And I just, I don't know. I just go in my own world, and I stare at my paintings, my unfinished paintings, and they stare at me. And we're like, okay, what is next? No, I just really think like, what kind of paint do I need for this painting? What kind of expression is missing? If there's a story around my work, and I try to tell it as much as I can. So there's also a lot of thinking involved. I think so. Yeah, and then I start. Yeah, that's kind of my routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the art scene like in Amsterdam? Because obviously it's a big city where there's lots of quite well-known artists, both contemporary and historical, have come from there. Is it still very thriving in terms of the gallery scene, or is it very different to, say, London?
Yeah, well, I'm not actually sure, because I haven't been really focused on like the gallery world in Amsterdam for years, because I was really focusing on my own practice actually. But I think there is obviously a very nice art scene in Amsterdam as well. But it's also really focused on, I think, like the old old masters. Like we have a lot of old masters coming from the Netherlands. So yeah, that's really rooted in our art scene actually, which is really nice. But yeah, that's actually all I can say about it. Yeah, yeah, but you know, being in London now for 3 days, it's just yeah, I feel really good energy, and I would love to see Freeze tomorrow as well. And I think it's a bit more contemporary, a bit more vibrant here. I think I could say, yeah.
Well, good luck seeing the art. To push past a lot of people to actually
Yeah.
see anything.
Well,
but you spend obviously a lot of time in Amsterdam, but you split time, if I understand correctly, between Amsterdam and Spain, or you spend a lot of time in Spain anyway.
yeah.
And I was wondering what each location does for you artistically, but also for your spirit.
Yes, I try to combine the two places because for me it's kind of like both best of both worlds. Because I love the city, I love Amsterdam. It's just such a vibrant place, but as I said, it's also really chaotic sometimes, and for me it can be really overwhelming as well. So yeah, when I go to Spain, I just feel some sort of calmness, and I can really unwind and just be with nature and my parents, which are here, by the way. They have a house there, and yeah, it's on top of a hill, and it's surrounded by like olive trees and grapes, and yeah, the sea is close by, and it's just I feel really me there. So yeah, I try to combine the two places because yeah, the one gives me a lot of energy, and the other one just gives me a lot of inspiration. Yeah, so
Yeah, that sounds pretty idyllic.
yeah.
Do you make a lot of art in Spain, or do you kind of keep you go there and you kind of keep the energies in your head and the memories in your head, and then you translate it onto canvas in Amsterdam?
No, I make the art there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also have like a little studio there, so to speak. So yeah, and yeah, it's just when I'm there, yeah, I actually cannot go for too long without creating anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to, so to say. So yeah, no, I make work there too.
Does the work differ much? Like if you were to step back and look at the work that you make in the Netherlands and the work you make in Spain, can you see that, they have quite distinct identities?
I think so. Yeah, in terms of color, I think. Yeah, because the lights is obviously really different there. Because in Amsterdam it can be really gray. So yeah, no, yeah, I think so. I think more yellowish colors, more orange, like Mediterranean. Maybe also more seafood platters. Because I can, I can get inspiration from that as well.
Okay, interesting. When you set out to make a painting, does your process vary much between, or from painting to painting, or is it more or less the same process from beginning to end?
No, it can vary a lot, actually. Yeah, I can go like months or even years with an idea in my mind and not do anything with it, actually. And it's just needing some sort of incubation time. So it's in my mind, and yeah, I'm not doing anything with it. And other paintings are just like emerging from doing. So yeah, it can vary a lot, actually. But and I can also like ignore a painting for a couple of months and then come back to it and with total new fresh ideas and then go on with it. And some works I can finish like in days. And yeah, it's just in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the practical side of it, how does an Ella Bril painting come to be? Is there like a drawing stage? Is there much draftsmanship involved, or do you sort of work straight onto the canvas with the paints? How does that?
I work straight on the canvas. Yeah, yeah. I do sometimes draw, but in the end, it just turns out to be completely something else. So, and I really like the freedom of creating onto the canvas immediately, because it's just and working in layers, because the first layers, like, they're only mine because no one is ever going to see them because you go over them again, and that creates some sort of freedom for me that is just amazing, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you also have often several paintings on the go at the same time, so you're kind of working on them simultaneously. How does that help? Why is that the case for you? Do you find that sometimes you just need to put one down and need to work on another, or do you find sometimes working through one canvas might help you, might inspire you for another one?
Yeah, well, I work on multiple at the same time because I really like the creative freedom that it gives me to just walk around the studio almost like a dance, sort of say, and just just having a bit of paint on my brush and just go there and then go there, and it's just like me and my work and a dance really. So yeah, it's just it helps actually creating as well because you're not focused on one painting, just like in detail focusing on one painting. It does not help me. I really have to get the freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. Sorry. Yeah.
Obviously, much of your work, or all of your work, is figurative and specifically depicts people. So are these all people that you know? Are they friends and family? Do you also paint strangers? Or are some of these people sort of composite figures?
Well, I'm going to say they're all made up, so they all exist in my mind. But I think when I start, they can sort of morph into people that I know or that I have seen. I think that my brain works like that. And some people actually say to me, like, the figures that you paint, they are all you, actually, me. So, but that's not true. But I think they are a reflection of me.
And do those people have good eyesight?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think so. No, but I think they're a reflection of the time that I live and just the people around me, actually. Yeah.
Do you tend to paint from models or photograph, like live models or photographs?
Not yet.
Or just
really
from up here?
Yeah, it's from up here, but I really actually want to do that. I want to like slow down and really try and to focus on models. I think that would be really interesting to do it like it was, you know.
Have you done that before?
No, I never
This is your first. Okay, this will be your first time.
No, I would love to explore that. Yeah,
it would be interesting.
Yeah.
And this exhibition that we're currently in is called Motherhood, Luminous Origins. And you have become a mother recently. So could you tell us a little bit about how that's affected your creativity and your art?
Yeah, it changed everything, actually. Yeah, I just became a totally different person becoming a mother. And you're obviously pregnant for 9 months, but it doesn't prepare you for what's coming next, actually, because there's a baby all of a sudden. And then you're like, okay, I have to take care of her in this case. And you have to put the paintbrush down in my situation. So that was pretty intense and also really, really beautiful because I never experienced such a thing. It's just make me feel so powerful and so vulnerable at the same time. And I try to put all those feelings into this exhibition, actually. And I had help that was really nice because I had my boyfriend, obviously, that was also in the picture. So I could paint, and it made me think twice about the privilege that I had before, actually, to be like my own free person, and now you have to think of a little person. So it changed everything, actually.
Yeah. I imagine, obviously, on the practical side of things, it would make a big difference. But also emotionally, psychologically, do you feel that your art, other than the fact that it often depicts themes of maternity, do you feel that your art itself has changed, and your approach to art making and the act of painting itself has changed much since giving birth?
Yeah, I think so. It made me realize that it's such a necessity for me, actually, and that when I'm painting, I just feel I appreciate it much more actually now than when I have the time now. It just it just makes me appreciate what I'm doing, and I'm taking my time with my work because everything that you take the time for and really invest in and it's just way better than rushing stuff.
Yes.
So that's.
Well, it'd be great to talk a little bit about some of the work that we can see around us, and maybe we can begin with Me and You, which is a painting over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sort of foregrounds the physical aspects of motherhood. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, first of all, why you chose those big blue flowers. They look almost like hydrangeas, but I'm not very good at botany. What the?
They are. Okay.
I mean, it's quite distinctive, but also my hydrangeas look much less healthy than that. And so I was wondering why you chose those flowers and why you decided to sort of depict the baby in that kind of explicit fashion, and also what might be. So is that rosé? Is that a glass of rosé?
No. No. She's pregnant. What are you saying?
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what's going on there?
No, well, yeah, it could be rosé, but I mean, it's not hers.
Definitely not.
No, but the flowers, yeah, actually, those are hydrangeas. Yeah, because in my old neighborhood where I lived, we had this amazing flower booth actually across our home, and I could see them like when I was pregnant, like all the time, and I was like, I saw this as a sort of sign that it was going to be a boy, but I was wrong. So, yeah. So much for science, I guess. But that's why I added them to the pictures, and I just really I have a thing for flowers as well. So I try to the way the baby is portrayed, it's because I really wanted to emphasize the bond that is already created when you have the baby inside, and especially when you first start feel the movement. And the first time I saw an ultrasound, it was just amazing. I was just, wow, this is a thing, and I just wanted to actually make that more visible for other people as well, because it's a human being in there, and that's just insane. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, and the rosé, which is maybe rosé, maybe not. But
They do alcohol-free rosé. That's possible.
Well, let's keep it at that. That's alcohol-free rosé.
I also just noticed that your signature is kind of often your signatures are on the sort of written like vertically or along the side of the canvas, but here it's kind of running off onto the side of the frame.
Yeah.
So was there a reason why? Was there a reason why you decided to sign the artwork?
Yeah, I like that actually. It's just that you see always like the signature like on the right corner. I'm just like, why not put it like on the side or just a bit of fun. Yeah, because I can. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
One of the more luminous works in the show is called Breastfeeding by Moonlight, and that's the one just over there.
Yeah, that one.
Yes. And so the moon, which kind of almost looks like a sun, if not for the dark sky, illuminates this sort of abstract wall with two vases and a woman breastfeeding a baby on a very colourful mat. And I was wondering what were you feeling when you kind of created this painting? What thoughts and feelings were you having?
Yeah, this painting is actually really, really special to me because this is some sort of self-portrait actually, because it was during a time that I was in Spain, hence the symbolic things around there, which is the hills and some of the scenery that is in Spain. But it was when I decided to stop breastfeeding, and breastfeeding is also one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced, because it felt me so close to nature actually. Yeah, I really felt like I'm belong to the animal kingdom actually, which is really, really great. And it also creates such a bond between mother and child. And when I decided to stop because I was truly exhausted actually. So I had to think about myself too. And so I wanted to really portray an end of an era actually. So that's this painting about.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There's also a painting called Becoming a Father, which unlike the two works that were talked about features a man.
Yeah, that one.
So that's just the one over there with the two pigeons. So that's a very bright piece full of pinks and reds and blues. And the title tells us what's happening. It's a guy becoming a father.
Mhm.
But there are some more enigmatic elements of this painting, like the pigeons. Why did you choose pigeons to accompany him? And is there any symbolism behind the kinds of flowers that he's holding?
Yeah, well, first of all, I really like pigeons, to be fair, because I think they're such an underrated bird. It's just, they're like always around us, and I just think they're part of humanity for some reason. It's just, I love it. And they also are a symbol of the city. And it's really a chaotic bird as well. And in the picture, I really love the way that they bring the chaotic feeling of the city, and he's rushing, and they fly up, and I just really love it. And they are also, on a more serious note, they are a sign of peace as well in a world that feels really unstable right now, and which I'm really also very terrified of, actually. So I want to also depict that in my work, that there is also a more serious note sometimes. And the flowers, they are really a symbol of love, actually. He's bringing it to the mother-to-be and rushing towards her. And the sort of movement it adds as well. It's just,
Have you always liked pigeons?
Yeah, I just love them. I would really actually want one. But I'm just like, can I buy it or just catch one? It's weird.
That's true. I don't really thought about how you...
No, not either. But sometimes I see one and I'm like, whoa, I think that's a really beautiful one. But it's just really weird. I mean, can I just go after it? I don't know. Yeah?
Oh, you're speaking from experience.
Just go for it. Well, I think my boyfriend wouldn't really like that. And also my dog wouldn't really like that. No. So maybe in the next life or so.
Have you seen the movie Showing Up?
No.
There's a film I just saw like a few days ago about an artist who starts taking care of a pigeon, and it becomes like she's like really reluctant at first, and then it becomes a really big part of her life.
Oh,
so maybe artists and pigeons are just meant to be. Maybe it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, they're both underrated. So yeah.
So there's another painting called Safe With Me, where is
that one?
Oh, that one. So that contains some pretty intriguing imagery, because obviously the title and her embrace of the child imply a sense of security. But there's a crow or a raven perched on her head.
Raven.
A raven, which seems kind of like a bad omen. That contrasts with the kind of otherwise relatively optimistic or warm imagery. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that contrast and why you chose to render that contrast in that way.
Yeah, well, I think becoming a mother has made me so much more aware of the dangers also around. And as I said before, like the world feels unstable and as a not so happy place right now. And this is something that I really struggle with mentally as well. And having a daughter now, it just emphasizes that a lot. So by adding the raven, I just wanted to calm down on the optimism a bit. It's because, there's not just always happiness around. And dangers are around. So that's just why the raven is on top of her, and she's protecting her baby. And looking very powerful doing so. Yeah.
It's interesting that both of these works feature birds, and also there are some swans or geese in that one over there.
Geese. Yeah.
And I was wondering whether birds in general are something that an animal that fascinates you, and whether you find them kind of rich with symbolic potential.
Yeah, and they are around. So that's pretty much also about the geese. They are around in Amsterdam a lot, actually, and they are pretty aggressive. But that symbolizes my neighborhood, and I think they're part of it. Yeah, I don't see animals apart from humans. So, they're always close. They're always by our sides. So, yeah.
Okay. What's that? Is that a particular? Because that looks a bit like a Dutch building. I just noticed. Is that?
It's a church.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a church in my neighborhood. That's it. There's no more symbolic to that.
No, yeah, but yeah. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about rediscovering myself, which again, like all your painting, uses a very bold palette. So that's this one. And so the reds of the walls and the reds of her dress are kind of so scarlet, and the pink is like almost neon, and the yellow flowers shine, they almost like gold. But again, there are ominous elements here. There's this kind of dark mass in the bottom right corner, and the door frame almost seems to be bleeding at the top. And so I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about these, again, contrasting elements and whether there's a story behind this piece.
Yeah, well, this is actually a funny one because I actually made this 3 years ago, before I was even pregnant and before all that. And it was in a time that I really felt off, actually. And she's looking in the mirror and she's looking at herself and trying to rediscover herself like we all do in life. I think there are multiple times in your life where you have to look in the mirror and you have to wonder, like, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for anyone else? So, that was my first thought painting this. And then, it stood there for a while. And after I gave birth, I had the same feeling. And I actually worked on it again. So, you could almost say I finished it after I gave birth. And I just found some sort of progress, I think. Yeah.
Is this your biggest work, like physically?
No, definitely not. No, I made a 6 meter long painting. Yeah, 3 months. No, not 3 months. I think 4 weeks after birth.
But I guess still, this is quite a large.
This is quite
piece. And what made you want to render it at a larger scale than a lot of your other work?
I like large scale. It's just, it gives me so much more freedom, and also to add like the elements that you see here. And I like big art. Yeah, it impacts more, I think. And that's why.
The kind of visual plane is quite flattened in this painting, and I was wondering if that was a kind of deliberate effect, and if so, what you were trying to achieve with that kind of fairly flat plane.
Yeah, I think that is because I started this 3 years ago, and you can see a lot of my development as an artist in this piece, actually. And it's from 3 years ago and it's from now, and that makes it different than the other works, I guess. But I was wondering what I had to do next, but I was like, no, I'm going to keep it this way, because I actually really like the more flattened planes as well, because it just creates more emphasis on the figure. So that's why.
Okay, and of course, bright colors, like all of your work. We've talked about optimism, and of course, bright colors can do a lot to express that kind of optimism. But is there something else you're drawn to when it comes to the possibilities of using such bold, bright colors? I mean, what is it about them that appeals to you in terms of their expressive potential?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of energy in certain colors, and they evoke emotions on its own. I think every color has its own story, actually, and combining them just makes an entirely different story. So I try to really experiment with that, like what color can go next to another color, and what does it do to the whole picture on its own. And I just really try to play with it. And I also think that in today's world, there is not enough color, actually, because living in the Netherlands, it's like everyone is really dull. And it's just, that's true. I mean, it's just, everything is gray. And I think there should be more color in the world. And I would like to be part of that movement.
Okay, well, I mean, you're definitely contributing to there's more color in the world now. And obviously flowers do a lot to kind of bring that color into being. And I was wondering if there was a symbolic reason why you choose certain flowers. But the way you were talking about that painting, you sort of mentioned that they were just things in the neighborhood that you looked out at. And so when you choose to incorporate flowers in your work, is it more of a sense of just something nice to include in a frame, or is there also a more symbolic kind of element to it?
Yeah, well, I think I always like to incorporate natural elements like trees, flowers, birds, stuff like that, because I see humans like as part of nature as well. And yeah, I really want to emphasize that we're not a separate species, so to speak. And this is going really deep, but I'm really, really keen on this because I think nature is the most beautiful thing out there, actually. And I love to incorporate that in my work. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives sort of a movement and energy to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked earlier on about how Picasso and Van Gogh and Herman Brood influenced you, or at least inspired you when you were younger, and perhaps I guess continue to inspire you. But could you talk a little bit in more detail about the role of figurative painters? That which figurative painters have most influenced you in as you've kind of grown older and as your practice has developed? And could you talk a little bit about what it is about their work that you draw on or are inspired by?
Yeah, I think figurative artists on their own are just just really inspiring because you have to really get into like the figure that you're painting, and it's just also really difficult because you have to get into the some sort of flow, I guess. And I think a movement that really, really inspired me is the German expressionism movement. And there's one in particular he's called Ernst Ludwig Kirchner. And he just made a lots of figures that I was so inspired by, and the colors that he used, it was just amazing to me. And also the expression, like the flow in which some figures are expressed is just really, really good. And and also I mentioned him before, but Van Gogh is just when it comes to portrait painting, when it comes to figures, he's just on top of the bill. I think he's just and so underappreciated in his time. And the way that when you walk across Amsterdam, that people are walking with like canvas bags with his face on it, and like it's insane. I mean, what if he knew this? That would be like, that's amazing. Yeah. So really inspiring.
Yeah. Are those sunflowers in the vase there?
Yeah.
And is that a kind of conscious reference to Van Gogh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And also like this is a portrait of Marine. And this is actually where it all started because Marine commissioned this piece. And her third son, Matisse, was born in July. And congratulations. Sunflowers are also part of the summery feel. And it just adds to the moment of the birth in summer. Yeah.
I mean, you also mentioned Kirchner. He's definitely having a moment now. There's exhibitions of his work all over Europe.
Yeah.
He's like really kind of being rediscovered and that kind of thing. So definitely expressionist painting in general is having its time in the light, and so your work is very well positioned to kind of be in conversation with that. I was wondering if there are any painters that have explored or depicted motherhood in particular that have inspired you, or that you've kind of drawn on since becoming a mother and since wanting to explore those themes in your own work.
There is one in particular that when I was pregnant, I went to an exhibition of Miriam Khan in Stedelijk Museum in Amsterdam. And I never heard of her before, actually, but when I entered the exhibition, it was about motherhood in a way, because there were a lot of pictures of pregnant women and of birth, and those in combination with war. So it was really intense and really, an eye-opener for me as well, because motherhood is not only about flowers and sunshine. There's also like this really dark side of it because, being a mother is not the same, everywhere in the world. And I remember I was pregnant and I saw those images also of birth. And it scared the shit out of me, actually, because I had to give birth. So, and then I was like, wow, but this theme is really necessary as well to see because, as a woman, you don't see it a lot, actually, still. And I'm also new to the community, so to speak, because I've been a mother for 9 months now, so which is nothing. But I'd like to explore even more the subject and try to fully understand what it means and just get it out there as well as an artist myself. So, but Miriam Kahn was really, really an eye-opener for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to figurative painting in general, I mean, what is it about the possibilities of figurative painting as opposed to abstract painting that you find so exciting?
I think the emotion in people's faces, in people's eyes, is just, for me, is really, really amazing to be able to capture it in figurative painting. And, emotions really dot. That's it. Yeah. And for as of abstract work, I had yet to discover that, but it could be also something in the future that I would love to explore and also try to put certain emotions in color on its own. So but figurative is just, for me for now, it's just a way to evoke emotions through the canvas and when you're looking at the canvas at the same time. So
okay. When you're making your paintings, are there ever any kind of particular emotions or thoughts or feelings that you're trying to elicit in the viewer? And have you ever been surprised when people have interpreted your paintings in ways that you haven't expected?
Yeah, well, that's actually the point. So I really, really like to, to hear about what the viewer thinks of my work. And for me to explain stuff right now to you is actually really a first for me, because I love to hear about what other people see in my work. And there's never something that I want you to see. But I just really love to invite you all as well to just look at the works and try to figure out what it means on your own.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that appeals to you about painting quite serious facial expressions as opposed to more jovial ones?
Yeah, the serious faces. I think I hear this more often. Like, why do they not smile? And that I'd say to people, like, you're not always smiling yourself, right? You're just not walking around with a big smile on your face like all the time. And they are not really portraits in which people sit down and I portray them with a smile on their face. There are more snapshots of life, actually. And I think, you're not smiling in those moments. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in a gallery run by a company that specializes in lighting. And I was wondering if you can find that sometimes certain kinds of lighting can transform your work or figuratively speaking, cast it in a different light. And I was wondering if you could explain a little bit about that and what lighting can do for your work.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. I came here yesterday and I saw this for the first time, and I was blown away, actually, by how good the lighting is complementing my work, especially when it comes to colors. It's just, it's just amazing. And looking around now, they really lightened up, actually. So no, it's so good to see. And I also struggle with this myself in my own studio, trying to photograph and videograph my work. It's a difficult thing, actually. Lighting is so important to art. And it's just amazing to see how they come to life here. Yeah, so thank you, TM, actually.
And I want to end before throwing it open to the audience by asking how you feel your practice has evolved since you began. Has it taken any unexpected turns?
Yeah, all the time, I think. Yeah, I started like 5 years ago only. And yeah, for me to be even sitting here is just amazing, because I started painting really for myself, for my own mental health, and for me. And yeah, it took so many unexpected turns, and I really started to explore materials and oils, and yeah, it got better and better for me. And yeah, I think it will evolve even more in the future. And I'm so grateful to be doing this. And yeah,